Welcome back to Talkville, the ultimate Smallville rewatch podcast, where we go back, way back. We are in season 7, episode 9. Can you believe it? Thank you for all the support and the love if you're listening. And if you're a patron and you support this podcast and give back to the show, that is just above and beyond. And we thank you. You really support the show and keep us going. So it's you. So if you want to join Patreon, patreon.com/Talkville. And also, if you want to go to the talkvillepodcast.com, get some great merch, tons of great shirts and things and hats, and the Inside of You online store, you can get autographed lunch boxes, Smallville from me and Tom, ship keys, Funko Pop, scripts, all that. So go there. And Tom is at Tom Welling. I'm at the Michael Rosenbaum. You can look at our link tree for cameos and all the cons we're going to. The Smallville con in September. We're going on a Smallville cruise next year. The second one, it's going to be great. So make sure you do that. And if you want, it's a lot of fun. Just depends. You know, there's some people out there, Tom, that are just like, I just like watching the Rewatch podcast and I don't need anything else. And that's fine. Hey, man, if you enjoy it, if we're giving you some entertainment, thanks for listening and supporting. And if you didn't get a chance to call into our hotline, leave a question for this episode. Make sure you do for future ones. All that info and more is down in the show's description. A lot of great stuff, man. I will say this today, since we, I guess this is late. This is going to happen late, but we haven't talked about it. And it's too late to go back and record it now. But we record these well in advance. But today, while we're recording, I found out we lost Terence Stamp.
Yeah. And
Terence Stamp was the voice of Jor-El.
Yeah.
And that was, it was sad. You know, he was an older man. He lived a long life. But, you know, when I think of Jor-El, I think of him. I don't think of Brando. I'm so used to Terence Stamp. Well, yeah. That was.
Can I share a quick story about the one and only time I met him?
Yes, please.
We were doing Smallville. We were, in Vancouver at the stage, and the second AD came over and said, "Your dad's here," and I was like, "What?" Like, I mean, you've met my dad. Like, there's no way my dad would be there without me knowing it. And I was like, "What?" And he said, "No, Terence Stamp." And I was like, "Who?" They're like, "Terence Stamp, your dad," because it was just in the moment. And we literally like shut down the set so I could walk over and meet him. And he was very quick, very, he knew why he was there. And he said, "Hello, I'm your father." And he didn't laugh or anything. I laughed. And he goes, "Can I see the fortress?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's literally next door." And him and I and his wife walked over next door, and he just wanted to see the Fortress of Solitude set that we had. And I remember standing there with him, and he didn't say much. And he just wanted to look at it, and he took it in, and he goes, "Wow, this is great." And I was like, "Yeah." And it was like maybe 10 minutes.
But it was a moment. I spent with him. It was a moment.
But it was a moment. And then we said goodbye and he left. But he took the time to come and see. Like, he cared about what he was doing on our show.
And cool, man.
Yeah.
Because he's like, "I'm the voice of this. I do it. It's a gig, whatever." But he came to the set. He wanted to see the fortress. He brought his wife. He wanted to meet you. That's lovely. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Without further ado, let's get into season 7, episode 9. This is GEMINI. Title GEMINI aired 13th of December, 2007. Director Whitney Rancic, who I always thought was a cool dude. Writers Caroline Dries. She's awesome. Guest star Michael Cassidy as Grant Gabriel, Julian Luther. Tim Guinea as Adrian Cross.
He's great.
Synopsis: we have ourselves a scary little Christmas as Lois deals with the bomb threat in the DP. Grant comes to blows with Lex about their secret, and Clark's return is not what it seems. Well, the Ghosts of Christmas Past reveals themselves in a previously on segment where we see Chloe's healing powers, Jimmy's meteor freak racism, Grant is Julian, Kara's in Detroit, the Alloy entering a Luthor Corp scientist, Clark in the Fortress, and a lot of mistletoe action between Lana and Lex, Lana and Clark, and Lois and Grant. Fa la 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 Flanders behavior. Flanders. Transpires as Lois and Grant bump fronts in the storage closet of the DP. They discuss Lois' upcoming expose on Lex, which Lex himself requested. Lois is skeptical, but Grant assures her it's legit and not because he's seen her nipples, probably. Jeez. In the bullpen, Chloe laments that she hasn't heard from Clark in 2 weeks. Lois then receives a call from a mysterious voice that claims to have dirt on Lex that she's been ignoring. He says a bomb has been planted on Chloe and asks, "Do I have your attention now?"
Now.
Yeah, so it's starting
Speaking
to
of
get
which,
heated.
Ryan, do you know who directed the next episode? Can you check that out real quick? I
The
meant to look
next
it up because
episode?
Clark's not in this a lot.
Could have been Whitney again.
The
And
next
I wonder
episode,
if it's
Todd
because
Slavkin.
Todd Slavkin, it was his first time. He's one of the writers, and it was his first time directing. He directed the next
Interesting.
one after this.
because
right?
Clark's not in this episode a lot, so I kind of thought maybe I was directing the next
that's,
episode.
This episode starts out, I'm not a big fa la 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 landorous behavior.
You throw a Christmas party every year.
Yes, but I'm not
Come
really
on.
into
And it's
like
fun.
episodic TVs that do a Christmas special. I've just never
I
been
see.
in that. I liked
I am.
Lexmas because it was really rich with character. No, well, not me, but like it was the tale of what could have been as opposed to a bomb threat at Luther. But what I will say about this
This is more like
Die Hard.
yeah.
There were some reveals which we'll talk about later, which I was like, oh, and it got better. It amped up. So it wasn't just Chloe's got a bomb. There's a story, and we're not going to learn anything. It's just who done it, why, where, who, what, all that shit. But it got going. It just in the beginning when you're just hearing Christmas music, I'm like, oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, there's a little Christmas music at the beginning that bugged me. Like I
Me
actually
too.
adjusted I adjusted my volume. I'm like, am I really hearing that? It was just
Yeah.
not maybe great.
When are you filming the Christmas? You're not filming it during Christmas season, so you guys aren't even feeling that
No.
jolly like during, because it's like what, September?
Who knows? But yeah, it's like
September, October. Yeah.
I probably wasn't even aware it was Christmas. I was just like, all right, where's my marks? What are we doing? Let's do it.
We would start in July. Every episode took 10 days, more or less. So we would have to be, and then the air dates would get closer.
Yeah,
If you know what I mean, just like these podcasts, the air dates get closer.
into the
So,
time.
it was probably September, October, I would imagine we were filming this. Yeah.
At Luther Manor, Lex and Grant do classic Luther epi bonding. That was me actually doing that. Grant asks that someone other than Lois write the expose, but Lex says he has nothing to hide, so there's no problemo. Each is concerned with Lois's ability to get under the other's skin, but Lex lets it be known that he always finds a way to win. Lex flip-flopping opinions on Lois are a little strange. What do you mean?
Last episode he was like, stay away from Lois, and now he's like, nah, bring Lois closer to me and let's do this thing. It's a little like he's a little inconsistent with like where he is on like how close he wants Lois in his life.
Well, I think that now that we know Julian's working with him, he's kind of, his guard's not down, but he's like, I'm protected. I want to hear what she has. Imagine, it's like, I want to hear the scoop she has on me. I want to know if she's got anything else on me that I have to be worried about. Get information, go and just deny it emphatically,
That's what Lionel would do. We should probably try to get Todd on the next episode since he directed it, since we just brought that up, because
Yeah.
I imagine in the
Remind me,
writer's
Ryan.
room, I imagine it was not easy to create a Lex Lois scene. I bet there was a lot of work put into that.
Yeah, it's got to be combative. It's got to be, for it to work. I always wondered, I was like, is there any way Lex and Lois are going to go at it? Well, I thought, are they going to write that into the story? I don't know. Back at the DP, Lois finds out that her mystery caller, Adrian, an escaped clone from Luther Corp who's aging so rapidly that he'll be dead in a matter of days. She spies a suspicious deliver guy, follows him to a storage closet, threatens him with a 3-hole punch, and scared shitless, the guy says he was just checking Lois because she's a babe, bro. She releases him, but he turns right back around and collapses, a pair of scissors lodged in his back. Lovely weather for a sleigh ride together.
Puns.
Lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you. You are dead. Go ahead, Ryan.
All right. Meanwhile, at the Kent farm, it's a Christmas miracle as Clark returns to Lana. He has no idea how long it's been, but Lana says the time apart was good, and she's now dropping her fixation on Lex, or her Lexation, if you will. But, like an enabler, Clark asks her to show him everything she has on Lex so they can take him down together. They head to the foundation where all her equipment is wrapped in plastic. Clark takes responsibility for everything Lex did to Lana while they were together. Lana says, wait, you're not the villain. And Clark says, yeah, that's what I was saying, obviously. She logs in, shows him a video of the black alloy goo, and promises to share all the info on Project Scion with him. Did anyone notice that the little smirk came back in this scene?
I did.
No?
Maybe, yeah, I did. I also thought, like, I don't know what was going on, but I noticed Kristen, or like, I could tell it was just a lot of dialogue, and so she was kind of.
Oh, especially that scene. I remember that scene because I had a lot of dialogue, and I had to like time it and walk around. I remember that scene a lot.
It almost felt like you guys were. It wasn't bad or anything, but it was like you guys were just getting through it.
Yeah,
we were just kind of getting through it. There wasn't a lot behind it. There wasn't a lot of, but it was fine. But I was like, this is kind of one of those exposition. I've got to kind of tell the story here.
But Tom had to have known, because you knew what was happening at the end, so you had to play it a little differently. But you had to make everyone believe that you were Clark, kind of, right? Or no?
I got to be honest. I was surprised at the end of this episode that I wasn't. I
was too. And what the hell was going on?
And I got to be honest with you, I'm not sure I knew when I was filming it that I was not me. To be honest,
you were just playing it the way you thought and go, oh, wait a minute.
I think I was just playing it. I think I was just playing
that was
Clark.
so weird. I had no idea. Did you? Was it surprising?
Like if you put a gun to my head and you're like, who are you playing, him or him?
I'm glad you're candid and open about this, because I felt the same way.
Yeah,
like,
this is incredible.
What's going on?
Everyone will appreciate that.
Will they, or they just
no? They're gonna love that.
Pound us with
hatred. Because everyone wanted to know when you guys realized the twist rewatching it. I think because I was stopping and starting and like writing stuff, I probably like noticed like I was a little uneasy. I think there was something with the direction that was intentional to make you feel like a little uneasy that I was picking up on. But it wasn't obvious enough.
You mean when they
either.
show his face kind
of
like
there was like the smirk. No, just like in this scene where I noticed the smirk.
Yeah.
So there was
maybe
subtlety, but it wasn't obvious.
I don't recall if the director was like, by the way, can you give me this little smirk just because of this? I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys did, but
I'm like the worst podcaster ever. I don't remember anything.
Back at the DP, Lois taps out a note on the back of an evidence folder that reads, "Bomb on you."
I had a note about this. The woman who was driving the mail cart, she did a great job.
Yeah.
But all I can imagine is like, wouldn't that have been great if that was Steve Wardrobe playing that character?
Oh my God. He was like, oh,
that
please.
would have been fantastic.
She tosses it in the mail lady's basket, who waddles her way around the room to Chloe's desk. Chloe grabs it before Lois can speak up. She gets a text that says, don't even think about it. Kaboom! Biouch! Clark and
then
Lana.
they get in the biggest elevator ever.
Well, of course, to fit cameras and things in there. And Clark and Lana enter an unauthorized lab where Lana's been quarantining the Luthor Corp scientist infected with goo. The scientist whispers gibberish, which Clark recognizes as Kryptonian, and starts taking notes. Ryan?
At the DP elevator, Jimmy bumps into Chloe and they reluctantly agree to ride together. As they discuss how mistletoe will be at the office Christmas party, Chloe glances at the envelope and sees Lois's bomb message. Just then, the elevator stops on a dime. Uh-oh. And then in the bullpen, Lois checks out her new clone article, eyes the out-of-service elevator, and gets suspicious. Then suddenly, Adrian appears behind her, dressed as a janitor. He flashes the bomb detonator and asks for his story. And then in the elevator, Jimmy and
He was
Chloe...
really good. The aging, it was very obvious. They aged him.
The face didn't match his neck.
Yeah, it just looked like old age makeup. I got it. I was like, that doesn't look right.
Couldn't they have just gotten like an of-age actor to do the part?
Yeah, they could have.
He was supposed to be.
Yeah, seriously, because you never see him young. In the elevator, Jimmy and Chloe rummage through the purse. They find cute photo booth pics and a little gift box inside, which is the BAM. How did she not know that this is in there?
Well,
I mean, it's in it's a big box in the purse.
She had a lot of stuff in her purse.
You're right. I mean, I feel like a woman would know exactly what's in there.
Put your suspenders of disbelief on. Where is this thing?
Oh, God.
Ryan, it's time for the suspenders
just
of
have to put
disbelief.
This on now. Oh, my God.
Here you go, Ryan.
I'm gonna drape them over me.
Yeah. Ryan will put those on every time something happens that I feel is bullshit.
They are comfy though. Once you put them on, you'll forget they're on there. So comfy.
In the copy room, Adrian checks his face out in the mirror, lamenting how he won't make it to Christmas. He tells her when he escaped, he went looking for his parents, but their memory was a fabrication downloaded into his brain, and he wants Lex to pay. And back in the elevator, Chloe stands on Jimmy's shoulders to get reception to call Clark. She slips, drops her phone, and lands on Jimmy's finger, drawing blurred. Meanwhile, Clark and Lana enter the DP looking for Chloe to translate the Kryptonian they just wrote.
Clark's
down.
hair is horrible in this scene. It looks like a wig.
You know what?
It's so
Jack,
horrible.
my girlfriend, noticed it and goes, "What's with
horrible.
Clark's hair in this scene?"
Yeah.
I didn't think
It's
it was
horrible.
bad, but like it was different.
It looks like it's just placed on my head. I don't know what happened, but yeah.
Yeah.
It gets better after the
Christine,
scene.
God bless her.
Yeah. Something
She
happened.
passed away, Christine. She was a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Adrian hooks Lois up with a hidden camera and earpiece as she heads to Grant's office to meet Lex for their interview. Adrian feeds her talking points about Project Gemini, which Lex denies. Lois pulls a gun out of her bag and is told to point it at Grant while continuing to grill Lex. She rattles off Adrian's life story. Grew up outside Philly, point guard at Homestead High. First job on the Obit beat at the Liberty Times, but twist! Grant has the same memories.
What? Uh-oh.
Lex
Good
clocks
twist.
Lois with the
I like
award for
this.
best CTE. That's Christmas-themed encephalopathy.
Encephalopathy. Encephalopathy. Encephalopathy.
Encephalopathy.
Yep.
Adrian enters and asks about a birthday dirt bike that Grant also remembers. Indeed, Adrian is a failed clone that Grant successfully became. Lex shoots Adrian, who collapses and hits the detonator.
That was a good twist.
It was a lot.
That was like, oh my God, so you cloned your brother. It's not even really him.
I know.
And kept the bad clone alive somehow.
You know what would have
which
been
is
cool?
Even more perverse.
I hate to say this, but he finds out he's a clone and he's like, I won't live. Like I'm not real, and just ends his, his own life. And then Lex feels guilty, but not really because it's a clone.
Yeah, because how many of these has he been through? This is just one that made it out.
He should have said, if you don't want this life, it's fine. I'll get another one.
I wonder if all your Lex security are all that.
Just all extra clones.
You just clone your security.
I wonder if I cloned
Trying
myself.
to make them better. You were created in a test tube.
The bomb counts down in the elevator. Resigned to her fate, Chloe confesses to Jimmy that she pulled away from the relationship because she's a meteor freak. Jimmy plants a big sloppy one on her face hole in their final 30 seconds to live. And in the bullpen, Clark super hears the bomb beeping. Beep, beep. Shoo, he super speeds through the Christmas party. Super pries open the elevator doors, and super chucks the bomb outside where it explodes on the snow-flurried sky. Bless you. Time speeds back up as Jimmy and Chloe near-death panic smooch is now visible to the whole office. The old woman looking at her like, oh my Lord!
What?
Perhaps it is Clark after all.
I like the reindeers on the Daily Planet. That was cute.
Yeah, it was a nice
yeah.
touch.
Yeah, it's Christmas.
Lois wakes up in Grant's office, unhappy to see only Lex in the room. He tells her Adrian escaped and unassigns her from the expose. She says he'll have to take it up with the boss, but Merry Christmas. Lex Luthor bought the Daily Planet and is now the boss.
The reason why I said earlier that Lex and Lois scenes would be difficult to write because Lois is like the only character who does not give a F
Yeah.
about pleasing Lex. She's the only one.
Yeah.
She's, and that'd be tough to write.
You're right.
Because usually in a scene, somebody wants something, characters want something from the other person.
Yeah.
She doesn't want anything from you.
Yeah. She goes, I don't want anything from you. I want the story.
True. That is true.
In the copy room, Jimmy and Chloe recap recent events. Chloe decides to demonstrate her powers by healing Jimmy's finger injury that she caused. Relieved she didn't die, she asks they keep this a secret, and Jimmy agrees. I'm surprised, remember her strength when she drops a tear and it saves the girl's life and she passes out. She's so exhausted. So this, I wish I would have seen her like, I'm just a little tired. I would have loved to seen that. Just a little hint to like, this takes a lot of energy away from me. At Luthor
This
Manor,
isn't easy.
yeah, it was just a little too easy.
Mm-hmm.
At Luthor Manor, Lex signs the final papers to own the Daily Planet. Grant barges in and chews out Lex for, everything. everything.
I just wanted Lex to be like, "You're lucky to be alive."
Yeah. I got. How about
wanted
this?
that line.
You have a choice. I could exterminate you, or you can shut up and continue doing what you're doing. It's up to you. Lex tries to gaslight him back into believing he's the real Julian, but Grant calls Lex out for being desperate and arrogant. Despite Lex's attempts to play God, this clone still has free will.
Oh.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Lois works on her resume in her apartment when Grant comes knocking. He says, "Good news. Lex said they both get to keep working at the DP. Bad news. They're breaking up for real this time." It's copacetic enough, but Blue Christmas indeed.
I never really believed that Lois liked him.
It was tough.
Maybe I'm, partial.
I don't know how that was going to work. I think it was just, you know what? Weigh in the comments. And at the Kent farm, Chloe gives Clark the decoded Kryptonian encryptions, which read as error messages of a system learning to reboot itself, and suspects that the metallic fluid could be Milton Fine resurging. Chloe leaves and Lana enters with coffee. Clark fawns over Lana's smile and says he fell in love with her all over again. But as they embrace, the bizarro smirk curls on his mouth and his face glitches. Yes, the real Clark is trapped in a glass case of emotion in the fortress. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good ice.
Eyes.
Good one.
Closing thoughts. So many twists. Which one played the best? I think played that he was a clone. Julian was a clone. That was my favorite twist.
It was a good twist.
It was most surprising twist was Clark's Bizarro. Didn't expect that. Neither did Tom. When did we figure out it was Bizarro? I guess you did with the smirk. Or you had an idea something.
I had an idea.
Grant's observations of Lex's behavior justify Lex's actions. Has he earned this breaking point? Yeah, I'd say he found out as a clone. He's like, dude, are you kidding me? I'm your brother, and this is what you do to me? Should Bizarro have wanted Chloe dead? Why did he save her? Because here's why. Because he knows Clark's confidant is Chloe. So if he pretends that Bizarro is Clark, he needs to have that confidant, right?
I guess so.
Am I wrong? I could be completely wrong. I don't know.
Oh, that was the other, when I was reading stuff online, the other hint was that Bizarro flew to the top of the building and Clark can't fly.
Yeah, up the elevator shaft or whatever that was. Yeah.
But I think because it was a save, I think we were meant to, we were led to believe it was Clark.
What's this bullshit though? He can't fly. Remember the one where he jumps up to the spaceship? That's pretty much flying. On this episode, when you shoot up to do something or whatever, that's flying. You're not. So it's like
it's jumping. No, it's jumping. He's afraid of heights.
Look. If I could jump 500 feet in the air, I'd say, I wonder if I can continue this. Let's work this out. Let's, it was like, I call bullshit. Interesting things.
I think he's just restricted in his mind as far as where he could go. I mean, you're right. There's an argument that like, if I could jump this high, why don't I jump to Metropolis? I just won't call it flying.
Yeah.
I'll just jump there. Yeah.
I believe I could jump high. Interesting things to note. This is the first time Kryptonia has been spoken in Smallville.
Spoken, not read.
Yeah. This is the only episode in the series in which the character Clark Kent does not appear in the episode with less than 1 minute of screen time. This is the only episode in the series in which the character Clark Kent does not appear in an episode.
This is the least amount of time that Clark was on screen. Clark.
Real
Clark.
Clark, okay.
Clark.
Lois tells Grant that she and her next boyfriend sure as hell aren't going to work together. And this episode and Lexmas are ones where they invoked Christmas spirit. How is it shooting during the moments or the months they intended to show wintry escapes? I remember when I shot Lexmas, it was cold and we had the trees outside and everything. I don't remember this because nobody was outside really, if you think about it. Who was outside in this whole episode? It was all indoors. We shot it.
Yeah.
So we didn't have to deal with the extreme cold.
That's true.
Talkville is brought to you by Wayfair. You know, Ryan, when they say Wayfair, we have just what you need.
Yeah.
They do. They really do. They have everything. It's a one-stop shop. And I just got this gorgeous wood table, and it is incredible. Everyone is complimenting on it. And I just love Wayfair. They have everything you need. Like if you're into sports, when you think game day, you might not think Wayfair, Ryan, but you should, because Wayfair is the best kept secret for incredible and affordable game day finds. Outdoor tailgating, coolers, grills, folding chairs, patio heaters, indoor game day recliners, TV stands, coffee tables, entertainment centers, game day cooking, barware, entertainment cookware like slow cookers, decor, novelty sports themed decor, merch from your favorite teams. They've got everything.
There's something for every style and every home, no matter your space or budget.
Wayfair makes it easy to tackle your home goals with room ideas and curated collections.
Free and easy delivery, even on the big stuff. So no more huge delivery fees on furniture. You can get sofas, dining tables, beds, desks, and more shipped free.
Find all your must-haves, furniture decor, appliances, cookware, all in one convenient place. Wayfair. Wayfair is your trusted destination for all things game day. From coolers and grills to recliners and slow cookers, shop, save, and score today at wayfair.com. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. All right, guess what? Guess who's here? Yes, you asked for it. We delivered. Erica Durance, Lois Lane in the Hizzle Dizzle.
Hi, guys.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Well, we just saw you in Chicago. It was a grand time. Did you have fun?
I did. Yeah. I like the setup there. That we did a lot of panels, which is fun because I like all the interaction with the fans.
Yeah, it was good energy. I think, every year the Smallville reunion's getting bigger and better. And, I was saying that next year we should have some kind of event on Friday, like a VIP event, or do something. Maybe I'll play a little music or something and figure something out. Or or maybe karaoke night.
It's like a talent night, just something. Actually, when we were on the cruise, karaoke was a hit. It was so much fun.
I loved it. I had a karaoke night. You guys had a karaoke night, and they both just killed. So I think we're going to do that
great.
again. And
I didn't do it.
I'm going to throw a pajama party.
You'd end up actually having fun. Like, it was a really good vibe. Everybody was really supportive. You get people up there, and
Tom's not a
you know the song
karaoke
until you don't, and then everybody sings with you because they feel sorry for you. It's fantastic.
That's exactly why I didn't do it.
Erica, do you remember Gemini, the episode?
Not really.
It's a Christmas episode. It's, Lex has cloned his brother.
Yes. And then she's got to interview Lex, and they have a little back and forth there.
Yeah.
And she gets broken up with.
What is this? Eric, Lois is getting hurt.
Erica, Lois, whoever.
No, but Grant also found out that he was actually a clone of Lex's brother. So he had a lot going on in his life.
Yeah.
That was the complication part.
Yeah. Thank you. But I liked the trying to going in undercover and trying to catch Lex in a lie and
because Lex and Lois never had a lot of scenes together. So it was a treat. It was like, oh wow, we get to work together for once out of how many episodes. So
and I had kind of figured out who you were a little bit by that point, and I wasn't so neurotic, so it was fun when you were doing your thing.
Yeah.
Instead of me being like, wow, why is he trying to screw with me? Why can't he just focus and help? Everything was an attack when I first started.
Yeah. Then you just learned, hey, everybody's got their own, quirks.
Do you know what I learned? When you're actually more confident, you're less sensitive to everybody else apparently doing something to screw with you.
Yeah.
Like the little idiosyncrasies of other people don't bother you as much. At least me. And I go, oh, that was a me thing then.
Well, my analogy would be a baseball player with a stadium full of people. If you start listening to what they're saying and yelling and you're aware of them, you can't be focused on hitting that ball.
Yeah.
So you have to drown out everybody and just do your thing, do your work, stay focused, and that's how you excel. So everybody has their thing. So
when you play hockey, can you hear the crowd the same way you can in baseball?
There's normally not a crowd when I play, but when there is a crowd, no.
I would cheer for you, Michael.
No, I play in some celebrity games, and it does add to it. It's like, oh my gosh, wow, this is exciting, gives you a little
but with
energy.
The helmet and everything, you can't discern certain comments.
Oh, you could hear people. I remember you suck. You could hear those things clearly.
Are there mics in hockey helmets just like in football helmets?
Sometimes they'll mic them up.
Buddies?
Sometimes they'll mic them up, but seldom because it's
Did
such
you
an
give each other
intense
pep
game.
talks?
Yeah, you hear pep talks. You're like, come on, boys, let's go. Let's pick it up. Let's go. We got this. There's
This is good talk, Phil. Sorry, guys. Okay.
all right. So tell me what you remember about Gemini, like what you remember, if you remember anything at all.
Very little. I do remember anticipating our scenes and being excited by that point that we would get to do that and I could be undercover. I loved that I was kind of branching out on my own because this is season 7 and I was still very much kind of comic relief and kind of tied into just various relationships and kind of popping around. And I wasn't very steady with stuff. So I was kind of excited that I had what felt like a legit storyline.
Did they tell you that, you and Clark would eventually be together, or that wasn't even stated early on?
Never stated.
She played Lois.
What'd I say?
Well, what I thought is if I didn't get fired eventually, they would have those two characters together. But they did. I mean, I'm being self-deprecating, but because I joined with a 4-episode arc and then they're like, maybe it'll be 7. And then every year they were kind of just picking me up for a specific amount of episodes, but they would keep me waiting. Right.
Right.
So it was more based on that kind of thing. Like it depends on how involved I am in the show and whether that fits the arc of what they're trying to do. And then I feel like when we were like getting into like, I remember the promo for the beginning of season 8. And then I started seeing the material in season 8. And then I was like, oh, okay, this is looking a little bit more like Lois is part of the Daily Planet. They're interacting more. But it's always hindsight, at least for me looking back on the show.
Yeah.
There's nothing I kind of could pre-plan.
Well, it's also good when you become a regular, when you have a job and it's not just like, oh, we need her for 2 days. Oh, we need her again for this episode. We need her. There's sort of a nervousness or like a what if, I don't know what's going to happen. Are they going to kill what are they going to do with my character? Is this the end
Here's
for me?
Here's a script on Friday. We need you Monday morning.
Yeah. There's a lot of that, right?
Yeah. And that's not fair, but it's kind of the world we live in, It's
a different kind of beast when you do television. And I know that you guys had, lead roles in it from the very beginning. But, people are always asking, how did you craft this character? And how did you do this thing? And how did you do that thing? And yes, in some way you craft, but also you're just flying by the seat of your pants. And you're getting episodes, and scenes an hour or two before. And the material really does inform you. And because it goes for such a long period of time, I think it's a really great skill set for anybody to do television.
Yeah,
they go over to a film. Okay, that's a totally different beast. But to be able to go on the fly like that,
I've never had to do that. Like Tom, you became a guest. I mean, you were for one season you were a regular, but like really, you're a guest star for a year. You're like, this is a show, Lucifer, that was established. And Erica, you've done this often, and especially with Smallville. Mm-hmm. But I've never done that. I've only been a regular. I've never gone on to really guest star as a character. And so I'm sure that would be nerve-wracking. I just can't imagine it. Starting from the beginning with everybody else, there's a sense of, I don't know, there's a sense of camaraderie.
Well, I had to, on Lucifer, I had to adjust my mode for sure because I was so hungry for information all the time, which they weren't ready to give. Not giving me, but they didn't have.
Right.
Because I really wanted to know what was going on. As you guys know, on Smallville, I always wanted to know what was happening. Yeah. And I had to adjust my mode of just being like, I'm a guest,
There's a big difference between being a lead and guest.
Well, when we get Smallville posters at the cons, I'm more than happy to sign big right across the middle. When I get a Lucifer thing, I sign a little bit down on the right. Just
in the corner.
A little smaller. I'm a guest here.
I write even smaller than you when there's a Guardians of the Galaxy poster I have to sign. I'm like at the very bottom. I'm like, Martin X. I had 3 lines.
Right.
Or 4.
I think it's actually good for people to go from like a long job. Not that we all have the choice to pre-plan it. But then when you are a guest star, all of a sudden you're punted over to this place and you have 1 or 2 days to craft something. All of a sudden you're like, whoa, I have to access a completely different set of skills. And psychologically, this is very challenging.
But I also had a lot more energy for my scenes on Lucifer.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't in every scene.
Yeah,
exactly. You were probably pretty excited.
I think Ryan's kind of gnawing at the bit. He's kind of, is that the expression?
What?
You're kind of
chewing.
Chewing
Ryan,
at the bit.
It was so nice to see you this weekend.
It's nice to see you too.
Chatting.
No, it's fun. It's because I'm getting used to this con stuff. I know you guys are all.
Oh, you are already.
I'm like a season pro. I've done 2.
But Ryan was signing autographs, taking pictures. We went to a little meetup with the patrons, and
I did.
we had a
You can have your own
blast.
table, Ryan.
Yeah.
How? Well, I mean, I
I
guess
used Tom's. It was a makeshift.
and then when Tom came, they had to kick me out. It was very fun. Well, people who wanted to see me like came and said hello, but then you were nice. You made like a little sign that said I was signing autographs, and you popped it in front of Tom's schedule.
Yeah.
So it was very humbling when like fans would come over and they would just poke around it and then see what time Tom was actually going to be there.
I know. Sorry, Tom. But Ryan, do you have any questions about Gemini? Because you have a better memory than we do.
Yeah, I mean, you said something about like, because it was a little up and down for Lois this season and you were a lot of comic relief. Was it frustrating, or was it like actually relieving to actually just be a little bit more comedic this season? Or was it a little bit like, hey, when does my turn come up?
Like, I think like anything for a human, you seem to constantly contradict yourself. So there's pros and cons for both. Like I really liked the comedic stuff, but then after a while I was like, oh, I'd like to do some drama. And then, and then it kind of came its way and I was like, wait, she's too dramatic now for too long. Can I just be comic relief? So I think the thing that I was excited about was whether it was comedy or drama or action, I felt like I had a little more of a through line.
Mm-hmm.
And then it makes you feel like you're more part of the group.
Yeah.
And that in itself is just as a human, being part of the group it just makes a better vibe. You feel better on set than if you just kind of show up at the end of everything that's quite important and say something to irritate everybody and then you leave. You kind of feel a disconnect. So I like that. It felt more legitimate.
I think it's developing a character from the beginning is a lot different than coming in and saying, okay, where do I start and what do they want and how do I react, and just thinking, am I giving them what they want? Where as opposed to coming in on a show, you're a regular. You don't, you're coming every day and your character is growing and developing and you're just thrown in there and go, come on, be funny. We need an energy. Let's do this. And it's a lot. I really never thought of it that way, but it's a lot.
Can I tell you a quick Lucifer story? So we were a couple episodes in, and the creators called me into a meeting, and I was like, okay, cool. And Joe and Lydia I'm missing the names right now, but we sit down and they go, so we just want to talk a little bit. I'm like, yeah, cool. And like, what are you doing? I said, what do you mean? It's like, we don't understand what you're doing.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, we don't get what you're doing. And I'm like, well, I'm playing 4 characters, right? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, so I'm trying to be vague about what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. And they were like, okay. Joe and LD, sorry. It just came back to
So they didn't like what you were doing?
I just, they didn't tell me if they liked it or not. The fact that they brought me in, they were kind of like, what are you doing?
Were you nervous about it? Like, were you like, kind of like, oh shit, am I dropping the ball?
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought. But they didn't say anything after that. They go, okay, yeah, cool. And they just supported me and we never heard about it again. I don't know.
Well, didn't that make you question what you were doing then, going in every day?
It made me question whether I was paying enough attention, which was confusing because I was. I was.
It's weird.
So that was my first experience with that. Because the show was not supporting my character. As a guest star, you're supporting the show.
That's a whole other way to come to a project with sometimes we all can kind of forget. We're like, oh, wait, my only purpose is to be a foil to the main character in this specific way. And then therefore, I mean, depending on your status on the show, like sometimes you don't get the questions. What I always hate when stuff like that happens, because it happens in different ways, is like, why didn't you tell me? Like, how long were you going along before they're like, what are you doing? You're like, could you have like chimed in after one scene? Like at what point was I fucking up here? Because it would make my brain a little spidery.
It's
sure.
like, also it could have been like, why aren't you guys on set kind of telling me, hey, this is more what we're looking for, if that's the case?
Yeah. Instead
of like calling me in after I filmed 3 days of work already, and now I'm like questioning everything I freaking did, man.
Well, and they do that when you're a regular on it, right? Like everybody starts at the beginning in the pilot world with a little bit of more hands-on and crafting things and talking about things, and we kind of all find our way. But if you're joining partway through, And then they just randomly are like, what are you doing? And I think that's also part of, from their perspective as creators, they're so busy that they just slot people in. And then all of a sudden they'll watch a guest star and be like, I don't get it or whatever. And so it's like, you don't get that immediate hands-on stuff. You get that kind of feeling of being forgotten. And you're like, I've been working for 2 months. Like,
Hey, Erica, tell me about working with Michael Cassidy, who is Grant. Do you remember?
I don't remember a ton, but I remember he was fun. Really, really nice. Very charming.
Good breath.
Super gentleman.
Very prepared.
I don't remember his breath. I remember other breath stories, but they weren't mine to share. But we didn't do a lot of, again, in Smallville, when it came to any kind of intimacy, it was fairly basic, fairly tame. There wasn't a lot of opportunity to smell other people's mouths.
Did you notice his
But,
voice? He has a very distinct voice. Like, it's like, Lois, if you're doing this thing, you just kind of had like, it had this deep voice going on. It was like,
I thought maybe it was just
cool.
like a character thing. Like it kind of fed into the idea of like an old comic book guy.
I didn't confirm that. So you shouldn't be, Lois, we've talked about this a million times.
I felt like, one of the things I noticed when I was working with Grant, and it isn't a Grant thing, it was again, very self-focused, but it was like, okay, here's the next guy they're trying me on with. Cause it was like a steady stream of like, who do we get Lois with before she's with Clark to kind of like go through a bunch of breakups. And so unfortunately for Michael too, like he had to come in and be that for a minute.
Yeah.
So
it
that
fooled
was a
me.
little
I didn't know
rushed
he was
and
Lex's
stuff.
clone until it happened. I was like, what?
Well, Julia, the brother clone, yeah.
Yeah, the brother clone.
Yeah, we were all kind of taken aback by that.
Well, listen, we love having you on. Will you come on if I do the other seasons like 8, 9, and 10, which we're talking about, would you come back like, even at the end of this season or whenever? It's, it's fun. It's quick.
I think it's fun. I'd love it.
And if Michael doesn't come back, will you take over his role?
She already said
Absolutely.
she would. She'd be great. But that would entail
Yeah.
you watching every episode, Erica.
Well, she got to read some
I know,
ads for AG1.
I know, but and it would also like I'd have to heighten my cynicism. I could be the person that said everything was shitty.
Maybe I should get Cassidy Freeman to take over. That's kind of what happened in Smallville. We adore you. Thank you for being here. Ryan, do you have anything
guys.
else?
Oh, yeah,
It's
one
fun.
final.
Hang on a second.
Just because it's Christmas themed, how does this rank in terms of your Christmas projects?
Because it was a Christmas episode.
It was a Christmas
so,
episode.
She said, what?
Because you've
Say
done
what?
you've done a lot of Christmas stuff.
I have done a lot of Christmas stuff. Of course, I love Smallville best because it's Smallville.
Good.
The other stuff's fine, but
Yeah. Are you
This
doing
was
another
Lois.
Hallmark Christmas this year?
not this year.
No?
Mama wanted a break.
Hey,
I wanted to con and take care of my kids. And
I like your hair. This is cool.
thanks. I put on a toner because it was too blonde and looked weird.
It just looks
but it's
really
pretty dark. So we'll see what
Elegant.
happens.
I like it.
Every couple of months it changes.
We love you. Thanks for being here.
Okay,
Thanks,
guys.
Erica.
See you later. Bye.
Talkville is brought to you by Hulu. Make every day a Disney Plus and Hulu day and get everything you love in one plan. Start your day with Monday Mayhem and watch episodes of Bob's Burgers. How about a Touchdown Tuesday with the hilarious new comedy Chad Powers? Or a Whodunit Wednesday with high potential and everyone's favorite amateur sleuths in the hit series Only Murders in the Building. Maybe you're in the mood for a thrilling Thursday. Grab some popcorn like I love and stream huge blockbusters like Marvel Studios' Thunderbolts on Disney Plus, or get caught up with the most enthralling news on what you need to know. Gather the fam for a Flashback Friday and binge all episodes of Modern Family or Grey's Anatomy. Discover something every day on Disney Plus and Hulu. It's the movies and shows you love. Every day, 18 and up only. Offer valid for eligible subscribers only. Terms apply. Hotline. Patron privilege. Tom Turner. Let's get into it. I'm sure Tom has a wonderful question for us. Here we go.
Hey, it's Tom Turner with a question for the season 7 episode Gemini. Michael, in this episode, you had to deal with Grant's fate, and I was just wondering if Lex's paranoia was mapped out ahead of time, or is this something you just kind of learned week to week, especially with it being Lex's final season? Thanks.
Yeah, it was week to week, man. I didn't know what was going to happen, and I just, you start to realize, wow, he's cloning people, and he's like, getting worse and worse. And at this point, I'm like, wow, we've got 11 episodes. I wonder what they're going to have me do in these next 11. But, I like the path. Some shit happens, but Leanne, Leanne. Her name is Leanne.
Hey guys, it's Leanne P. from Santa Barbara. Had a question about the episode Gemini. So Michael, I was wondering, did you enjoy filming those fencing scenes? And do you still fence now at all? Thanks. Bye.
No, but I could jump over a fence. No, I don't fence, but I learned how to fence while I was there, especially in the pilot episode, and then one with my father. I learned how to fence. We fenced for a couple hours for rehearsal. And I think this one, we just did a couple of moves, so it was pretty easy. They realized,
Because you already knew.
Get two people that know what they're doing. Let's not waste time. And then for the last...
Did learning how to fence help your tennis game?
No, because you're doing this instead of swinging. Here we go. Josh from North Carolina. Josh.
Hey, this is Josh from North Carolina. I'm calling about Season 7, Episode 9, Gemini. So the bomb has a timer after he triggers it. I know we need to wear our suspenders of disbelief, but that is some Southern gentleman suspenders, if I must say so.
Ryan, tighten up those suspenders. You got to tighten them up,
He's got
buddy.
the suspenders. I agree. I said that out loud. I go, and now there's a timer. It should just explode. It's like, all right, let's set the timer for 10 minutes here after I've already died.
I'm going to kill you. You got 10 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, it was 1 minute, but still. Jules, love our Jules.
This is Jules from Los Angeles, and my question is about Gemini, and I want to know how long it took you guys to figure out that Clark was really Bizarro. Thanks for the show. Talk to you guys soon.
Oh, thanks,
I was
Jules.
surprised.
Yeah, we talked about that.
I was surprised at the end. I didn't catch it.
We were
Ryan
both
caught
surprised.
it.
We had no idea. We're like, what is going? Who are the ad wizards who came up with this one? Here's Amy.
That means it was well done.
Hey, this is Amy, Virginia, and I'm calling about episode 9 of season 7. Why would the clone that Lex made, why would he be blackmailing Lois? She was going to write a story anyway. I don't know, I just thought the story was weak in this one, but I wonder what y'all thought.
Well, he didn't know what she was going to say, and he didn't know he was a clone. Oh, he's talking about Adrian. Talking about Adrian?
Yeah, like why would Adrian blackmail Lois?
Because he knows she could find. She's doing an expose on Lex.
Yeah, I guess the justification was he's been sending her stuff and she's been ignoring it.
Right, I guess.
And I guess he was really trying to make a point because all of his emails went unread.
Yeah, that makes sense. Rachel from Arizona.
Hi, it's Rachel from Arizona. I don't know if any of you have seen the Netflix movie Carry On with Karen Edgerton, but it has some striking similarities to this episode, including a villain on the phone from across the room who has seeming omnipresent knowledge of everything going on, the hero trying to send a message using text and code because they are being watched, and weapons in handbags.
Yeah.
It's even set at Christmas.
There's a Colin
Did
Farrell
Carry On
movie
rip off
called
Smallville?
Phone Booth. Same idea.
Yeah, it
Oh.
sounds like they ripped us off. They watched this episode.
Phone booth.
No,
I forgot. I forgot about phone booth.
things. I mean,
And
people rip each other off, and it's,
Carry On. I
There's
didn't
only
see
so
it.
many ways you can tell stories. I mean, no one's making.
It's the attempt at, pressure, the timeline, the pressure cooker on the storyline for the other characters. Yeah.
I think it's become a trope, like the
Omniscient.
I mean, it happened in
omniscient guy
Batman.
on the phone.
He's like, are you gonna save her? Are you gonna save the city?
Yeah.
Because
Right.
I'm gonna, it's a common theme of
It's all
pressure.
morals, isn't it?
Yeah.
Texts, Kristen B. Where was Martian Manhunter John Jones since Bizarro escaped his prison from the sunny side of Mars?
Right?
Yeah, where was he helping out?
In contract.
That's a slippery
negotiation.
slope. You could always, I don't care if you're Marvel or you're DC, you could watch any movie or television series and be like, where are the other guys helping out?
Yeah,
What are they doing?
Where's the Justice
You just-
League?
Yeah.
Mackenzie, Lex delivers some of his smoothest, most manipulative lines. Did you ever ad-lib any of Lex's dialogue to make him sound even more charming or crazy? P.S. Lex was always my favorite. Thanks, Mackenzie. I didn't improvise a lot because you really couldn't. It was just like, but yes, I definitely added my own Rosenbaum-isms, but to fit with the
But Lex
character.
Lex himself wouldn't have been an ad lib guy.
I think I improvised more emotion and ambiguity of the character than I did
Yeah.
lines. So, if it calls for Lex being a little irritated, I might do things that aren't written, but
Yeah.
just fit the character, in my opinion.
I mean, as we're filming this right now, the reason I'm in this hotel room, I'm doing a movie right now, which apparently we can't talk about yet. Not that it's a big deal, but we're not supposed to talk about. But it is a situation where we're allowed to ad lib, and I'm telling you, dude, it is awesome.
That's
like,
great.
I've never been on a set where you can kind of just play with stuff because the writer is the lead actress. And dude, it's so much fun. It's like so liberating. And I hadn't really ever felt that before.
The only thing I will say that it's tricky is sometimes I've had situations where we're improvising and someone feels the need to jump in because they're not saying much.
She's very quick to be like, that's not funny. Don't do that again.
Yes. So what happens is
I've
if somebody says
many
something,
times.
you go along with it, or you know, it's like when you improvise, somebody goes, I was just talking to so-and-so. You go, you don't say, no, you weren't. You can't do things like that, but you go along with it and not try. I did a movie where me and another actor were improvising. It was really funny. And the other person tried to jump in and say something, and it just kind of ruined the flow. And I just looked at the director subtly, and then he went in and goes, yeah. When they're doing that, just let them go for a minute. Don't interrupt. And anyway, Rosenbaum rating system.
Rosenbaum
we're going to
rating.
start with Ryan.
1.5.
Ha! I knew it. Called it.
You knew it. You called it. I'm just gonna go straight 1.
It's a Christmas. I'll give it a rose. I mean, I think it was maybe a little better than a rose, but a rose because of some of the reveals. But a rose. A rose is good.
Yeah.
Death and save count. 2, Felice
Death and
Navi
save
dead.
count.
Adrian killed the delivery guy and then died himself. 2 saved. Bizarro saved Jimmy and Chloe through 9 episodes. 14 dead. 22 saved. Series 232 dead. 251 saved. Ryan's favorite. Scene.
Yes.
Boom, boom, boom.
All right, we'll go.
Boom, 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 down.
There's so many to choose from.
Well, the problem is I forgot to bring my printout, so
I know
I didn't have it written down.
I know what it's going to be.
So-
Don't say anything.
Should we just guess?
All right, scene 1, Jimmy and Chloe reconcile. Scene 2, the Grant is Adrian twist. Or scene 3, the Bizarro twist.
Ooh. Tom goes 3, Bizarro twist.
That was the only thing that surprised me in the episode.
I mean, Julian being a clone is pretty big.
That was pretty cool too.
I'm probably wrong, but I'll go 2.
2.
It is 2. Yes.
Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked that twist.
Yeah. I liked it. It's cool. That's it for the episode.
I like that better than him being the brother twist. That one.
Yeah, that's like
This was like a step
This
above.
is like, oh,
That's why.
you know what it does? It makes that better. The fact that, when you find out his brother,
Yeah.
like if you knew he was a clone then, it would have, but now it pays off.
Yeah.
That pays off. You were kind of upset by that. You're like, oh, how did he live? What is this crap? But he cloned him, and now I get it.
Yeah.
That's it for the episode. Stick around next week as we get Non Grata. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
And talk about episode 10, Persona. Let's take the discussion online. Let us know your thoughts on the episode over on our socials at Talkville Podcast or Talkville Pod. Show the support by supporting, patreon.com/Talkville. Without you, we can't do this. And if you want more info like merch from the show or a hotline number, you can find all that in the description. Inside of You online store. And a big shout out to Inside of You. If a lot of you guys are watching the show and supporting me and Tom and the show and you're really enjoying it, all I ask is if you could give my podcast Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum a chance. We've been doing it for a long time. It's a great show. I really think you'll appreciate it. So just do me a favor. Just do me a favor and have a listen and subscribe. That would mean a lot to me. And that was fun. Remember, folks, always hold on to Smallville. We'll see you next week. Tom, rock and roll. Ryan, take those suspenders off.
I'm going to keep them on.
Okay. You can do that.
For regular life.
Hey, guys. Of course, we're reading the top tier patrons. We love you, and we're reading your names because you're the best. If you want to join, patreon.com/Talkville and become a top tier and join in on all the fun. We had so much fun in Chicago. I did a little meetup with the patrons, and we're going on a cruise. We're going to Cincinnati. Join Patreon and support this podcast if you want to see it keep on going. So, Tom, tell us some of these great names.
Well, let's start with Little Lisa, Leanne P, Raj C, Santiago M, Thomas Tom Turner, It's funny how I messed up my own name in the middle of that. Shane W, Betsy D, Obby P, Karen Apple M, 99 more, and Lilani.
No,
N.
Leilani. Remember?
I know.
You got to say it. She loves it.
Leilani, and we just saw her in Chicago. What a lovely girl
She is. Brett G, always hold on to Smallville. Charlie T, Garrett W, Bob K, Tom, and Jason W, Atlanta rhymes with banana. W. Nancy D, Brian G, Grape Jelly 817, Amanda R.
Teddy 127, Michael P, who we also just saw, Ryan R, Randy P, Craig G, Jor L, Heather and Greg, we just saw. I made Talkville Say Butts, Eric K, Clark's mom, Kristen B, Finky, Damn, Who's that? And I think we should add to that, Damn, Who's That Army, apparently.
Jeanette E, General Zod, Doug R, Shanna I, Ken Limerick I, Corey L, Mr. Home Arcade, Claire M, D Brown, Jules M, saw Jules, Eldon Suprema, Brian P, Mick Burtz, we saw Ginger Moose, Christoph S. There is no fate but what we make.
Jessica B, Michael B, Sebastian F, Wolfie, and Little Wolfie, Matthew and Lincoln B, Mary Lou L, Shannon, Fofanin, Matt Mav, Rick, Randy S, Cassie B, Danny Mo Mirabel, Mary K, Sophie L, when you're rich, you aren't crazy, you're eccentric.
Rosamond fan, Sammy Sharman, Carrie Ann, the Alexander Castle, Daryl E, Jenny B76, Monica T, Monica, Ms. M, Emily Who Locked, Jeffrey K, previously on Smallville, Keith B, Cookie, Kareem, Cookie, Libertariat, Ivan G, Danny Z from Cleveland, Biagio C, Felicia B, Madison H, as told by Helen, Dr. J,
Kurt F, close to Dr. G and Dr. T, Fortatious B, Eduardo P, Naaman L, we'll never know. Smallville for Life, Bobby B, Kendrick F, Stacy L, Other Brother, Daryl, Melanie P, Starla S, Charlie M, Cheyenne F, AGS, Heather H, Tom and Michael's friend, Mikey.
Kieran H, or Kieran? Yeah, Hubs, Laura C, Adam C, Jackie J, John W, Bradley H, Nick H, Dan L, Coraline E, David A, Sierra, Chanzo, Steph Meister, J, The Broken Hero, Brooklyn, Ann M, Katie K,
Chris F, Kyle Ann, Bianca S, JD Rocks, Rebecca P, Jacob G, Erica H, Romina N, Rich L, Coca K, Lexi and Sid, Adriana G, Jesse W.
And JD Rocks, in case that got disconnected. But we love you. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.